Have you ever wondered if he really feels something for you, even when his words don't quite match what your heart is hoping for? You've probably found yourself reading into every text, every call, every little gesture, trying to figure out if his interest is real or just fleeting. And the truth is, you're not alone. Most of us have been there, wondering if the person we care about truly values us or if we're just chasing shadows. But here's a secret that many women overlook. Love doesn't always announce itself loudly. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it shows up in ways so subtle that if you're not paying attention, you might completely miss it. And understanding those whispers is one of the most empowering things you can do, not just for your relationship, but for your own self-worth. You see, the human heart communicates in mysterious ways. Our minds are wired to look for obvious signs, the grand gestures, the dramatic proclamations. But real affection, the kind that builds trust, connection, and deep emotional intimacy, often hides behind small, everyday actions. Think about it. When someone truly values you, they will invest in you, not just in words, but in thought, effort, and energy. They will notice things about you that nobody else does. They will make you feel seen, heard, and important without ever needing to shout it from the rooftops. And that is exactly what this video is about. It's about helping you recognize those subtle, unusual signs that show a man is genuinely into you, even if he's not the type to say it out loud. Before we dive into the 5 unusual signs, I want to make something very clear. Understanding these signs is not about manipulating anyone or trying to test someone's feelings. It's about empowering yourself to see the truth in your relationships. Psychology tells us that clarity reduces anxiety and uncertainty and boosts confidence. When you know what actions reveal genuine interest, you stop doubting yourself. You stop overthinking every message or missed call. You stop questioning your value. And that is life-changing because your peace of mind is worth more than any illusion of love. By the end of this video, you'll not only know the 5 signs that show he's genuinely into you, but you'll also gain a powerful perspective on how to value yourself in love. You'll feel more confident in your instincts, more assured in your choices, and more in tune with the subtle language of human affection. So, I encourage you to stay with me until the very end because what you're about to learn can transform the way you see love forever. Imagine a world where you no longer have to question someone's feelings because you can recognize them clearly. Imagine the freedom and confidence you'll feel when you can read his actions the way you read a book, knowing, without a doubt, whether he's truly into you or not. That clarity is a gift, and by staying through this video, that gift is yours. Now, let's set the stage for what's to come. Relationships are complicated, and human behavior is often subtle and layered. Many women assume that if a man doesn't constantly shower them with attention, he isn't interested, but that couldn't be further from the truth. Human psychology shows that when someone cares deeply, their actions are deliberate, even if quiet. There are patterns of behavior that reveal genuine emotional investment, even if words are scarce. Some men express care through their consistency. Others show it through attentiveness or their willingness to open up emotionally. And some demonstrate interest in ways that are so unexpected, so unusual, that most people simply overlook them. Those are the signs we're going to explore. What makes these signs so powerful is that they are grounded in human psychology, the kind of behavior that can't easily be faked. They come from a deep part of the mind that reacts to attachment, connection, and emotional safety. When a man values you, his brain is already wired to show it, even if he's not consciously aware of how obvious it is. That's why understanding these subtle signals gives you such an advantage. It's like learning to read a secret language that only the emotionally intelligent can truly understand. And once you learn this language, you won't just notice the signs, your intuition will strengthen, your confidence will grow, and your relationships will become healthier and more fulfilling. It's also important to remember that noticing these signs is not just about confirming his interest, it's about affirming your worth. Every time you recognize that someone is investing in you emotionally, mentally, and energetically, you are reminded of your value. You're reminded that you deserve attention, care, and affection from someone who truly sees you. And when you carry that awareness into every relationship, you no longer settle for less. You start to attract people who match the energy you bring, people who are willing to invest in you as much as you invest in them. That, in itself, is a kind of motivation, a deep, empowering realization that love is not something you chase, but something you recognize, receive, and deserve. So take a deep breath and prepare yourself. Over the next few minutes, you're going to learn about the 5 unusual signs that reveal when a man is genuinely into you. These signs may surprise you. They may challenge what you thought you knew about love, but they will also give you clarity, confidence, and a fresh perspective on your relationships. And remember, the reward for watching until the end is not just knowledge. It's the power to recognize love when it shows up, the strength to trust your instincts, and the confidence to honor your own worth. Love is all around us, often in forms we don't expect. The secret is knowing where to look, what to feel, and how to trust what you see. By the time we finish this video, you'll have the tools to do exactly that. And you'll realize something even more important. The man who is truly into you doesn't need to convince you. His actions, subtle as they may be, will speak volumes. And when you learn to read those actions, you'll no longer feel uncertain, anxious, or unsure. You'll feel empowered, confident, and ready to embrace the love you truly deserve. The first sign of genuine interest is often hidden in the quietest gestures, the ones that might seem insignificant at first glance. Pay attention to how he acts when he thinks no one is watching. There's a difference between someone who is polite or charming on the surface and someone whose attention is intentional, deliberate, and focused on you. Psychology shows that people invest their energy in what they truly care about. When a man is into you, even small, seemingly ordinary actions are filled with meaning. You might notice when your mood shifts, remember how you like your coffee, or go out of his way to make your day easier. These gestures are not performed for recognition. They are expressions of genuine interest. What makes these signs unusual is that they often escape casual observation. Society has trained us to look for obvious markers of affection, compliments, gifts, or loud declarations of love. Yet, the most profound proof of interest is found in consistency, in effort, and in attentiveness. A man who notices the tiny details about you is demonstrating a level of care that is rare. It's in the way he remembers the small things you mention in passing, or how he references a story you told weeks ago as if it mattered to him deeply. This shows a level of focus and emotional presence that is impossible to fake over time. Consider how meaningful it feels when someone truly remembers your preferences, habits, or even your fears. It creates a sense of being seen, of being valued. In relationships, feeling seen is often more powerful than hearing "I love you" 100 times. This is because our brains respond to actions more than words. Words are easy to say. Actions require thought, attention, and intention. And when someone consistently shows they remember what matters to you, it sends a clear message: you are important to me. You occupy space in my mind and heart. This recognition fuels a sense of security, trust, and emotional connection, which forms the foundation of deep intimacy. It's also fascinating how attention to detail links to emotional intelligence. Men who notice subtle things about their partners are more likely to be attuned to feelings, moods, and unspoken needs. This awareness reflects a mindset that prioritizes connection over convenience. When he remembers what makes you happy, what irritates you, or even small milestones in your life, it demonstrates that he is mentally and emotionally present. It shows that he is choosing to invest time and energy in understanding you, not because he has to, but because he genuinely wants to. That is the essence of attraction and genuine affection. It is voluntary, thoughtful, and consistent. Moreover, these gestures often have a ripple effect. They make you feel appreciated, confident, and more connected. When someone notices the parts of you that others overlook, it reassures you that you are valued for your authentic self, not for what you can give or how you appear. This is where motivation and psychology intersect. When you feel valued, your brain releases chemicals that reinforce positive emotions, trust, and attachment. You begin to associate this person with safety, comfort, and emotional satisfaction. These small acts are not superficial. They are profound indicators that he is emotionally invested. It's important to distinguish between mere politeness and genuine attentiveness. A polite man may hold doors, compliment your outfit, or listen when you speak. But a man who is genuinely into you will go beyond the surface. He will notice your subtle emotional cues, the change in your tone, or the look in your eyes. He will act in ways that cater to your happiness without expecting anything in return. These behaviors may appear ordinary to an outsider, but to you, they carry significant meaning. This is why being aware of these nuances can change your perception of a relationship. Recognizing them helps you understand not just his intentions, but also the depth of care he holds. Another aspect of this sign is predictability and effort. Genuine interest is rarely sporadic. It is consistent over time, even when life becomes busy. When work or responsibilities demand attention, he continues to find ways to connect with you. This could be a thoughtful message during the day, a small gesture to brighten your mood, or taking the time to listen to you even when it's inconvenient. Consistency is a psychological marker of sincerity. Human beings can fake enthusiasm temporarily, but sustaining meaningful attention over weeks or months requires real emotional investment. This is one of the most reliable indicators that his feelings are authentic. Understanding this sign also changes the way you approach your own worth in relationships. When you notice someone putting effort into remembering, acknowledging, and caring for you, it reinforces the belief that you deserve attention that is thoughtful and genuine. It teaches you to value subtlety and consistency over empty promises. It reminds you that love is not measured by grandiose gestures alone, but by steady, intentional, and meaningful actions that create a deep emotional connection over time. Finally, recognizing these small, unusual gestures empowers you to trust your instincts. When you see someone investing mental and emotional energy into knowing you, it aligns with the natural human need for attachment and affirmation. You begin to notice the difference between superficial charm and real interest. You start to understand that authentic connection is built on awareness, attentiveness, and care that is quietly consistent. And as you cultivate this awareness, you no longer feel the constant anxiety of uncertainty. Instead, you experience clarity, confidence, and a renewed sense of self-worth. These subtle signs are not just evidence of attraction, they are a mirror reflecting how much you are valued, seen, and respected. They show that love is not always loud. It can be hidden in moments and details and the quiet attentiveness of someone who genuinely cares. And when you learn to recognize these behaviors, you unlock a profound understanding of human connection, a kind of knowledge that enhances your relationships and strengthens your ability to honor yourself. One of the most telling signs that a man is truly into you is when he allows himself to be vulnerable in your presence. Vulnerability is often misunderstood. Many people see it as weakness, but in reality, it is the bravest form of honesty a person can show. Opening up about fears, insecurities, or past experiences is not easy. It requires trust, courage, and a deep desire to connect on a meaningful level. When a man shares these aspects of himself with you, it is a clear signal that he sees you as more than just a passing acquaintance. He sees you as someone worth exposing his inner world to. Think about it from a psychological perspective. Human beings naturally protect their emotions because they are fragile and deeply personal. Sharing feelings is a risk. It can leave someone exposed to judgment, rejection, or misunderstanding. Therefore, when a man chooses to reveal his inner thoughts, it indicates that he feels safe with you. His mind recognizes you as someone who can handle his truth without diminishing him. This is not something he would do casually or with just anyone. Vulnerability is reserved for those who hold significance, those who matter. The power of this sign is that it communicates depth without words. A man doesn't have to say, "I care about you," when he trusts you with his fears, dreams, and regrets. His openness demonstrates that he values your presence and judgment. It shows he wants you to understand him on a level that goes beyond surface-level attraction. When he shares parts of himself that he rarely exposes, it is a profound expression of emotional intimacy. And emotional intimacy is one of the strongest indicators of genuine affection. Notice the difference between vulnerability and mere conversation. Many men talk freely about trivial matters, work, or hobbies, but vulnerability is different. It carries weight. It might involve admitting mistakes, revealing insecurities, or discussing experiences that shaped him emotionally. These moments create a bond that is difficult to ignore. When someone trusts you with their raw, unfiltered self, it is a signal that he is invested not only in the relationship, but also in building a foundation of trust and understanding. Vulnerability also allows you to see the human side of him. It highlights that beneath confidence, humor, or stoicism, there is a person with emotions just like yours. Recognizing this can inspire compassion, patience, and a deeper appreciation for the connection you share. Human brains are wired to respond positively to honesty and openness. Witnessing someone's vulnerability can trigger feelings of attachment and empathy, making the bond stronger. It shows that love is not only about joy and excitement, but also about sharing the moments of uncertainty, struggle, and growth together. Another powerful aspect of vulnerability is that it requires reciprocity. When he opens his heart, it often encourages you to do the same. This mutual exchange creates an environment where both partners feel understood and supported. Psychology explains that relationships with balanced emotional transparency are healthier and more fulfilling. When a man trusts you enough to be vulnerable, it reflects his confidence in your judgment and your ability to provide emotional safety. This creates a cycle of trust and connection that deepens with each shared moment. It is also important to notice the subtleties in how he expresses vulnerability. Sometimes it is in the quiet moments, a sigh, a thoughtful pause, or a hint of emotion in his eyes. Other times, it is through sharing personal stories or asking for advice about sensitive matters. The key is that he allows himself to be seen authentically, without masks or pretenses. Authenticity is magnetic. It draws people in because it signals honesty, reliability, and a desire for genuine connection. When a man is vulnerable, he is revealing his authentic self, and that is a rare gift that shows true interest. This sign also teaches you about emotional intelligence and attentiveness. A man who can express vulnerability is often capable of empathy, understanding, and deep listening. He is aware of his own emotions and confident enough to manage them while still being present for you. This awareness translates into actions that reinforce care, support, and mutual respect. Emotional intelligence is highly attractive because it indicates someone who can navigate the complexities of a relationship without creating unnecessary conflict or distance. Recognizing vulnerability as a sign of genuine interest also shifts your perspective on love. It is not about constant excitement or drama. True connection thrives on authenticity, openness, and trust. A man who allows himself to be vulnerable demonstrates that he is ready to build a relationship grounded in reality, not fantasy. This is empowering because it helps you distinguish between temporary attraction and lasting emotional investment. You begin to understand that love is less about words and more about the courage to share your inner world with someone who truly matters. Finally, this sign connects to the deeper principle of emotional safety. When he trusts you enough to reveal his fears, doubts, and aspirations, it signals that he feels emotionally secure with you. Emotional safety is essential in any meaningful relationship. It allows both partners to grow individually and together. When a man exhibits vulnerability, it is not just a reflection of his feelings toward you, it is also a mirror of the environment you have created. Your presence, empathy, and attentiveness make it possible for him to show his true self, and that mutual exchange of trust and honesty is one of the most powerful indicators that he is genuinely into you. Recognizing vulnerability in someone you care about is transformative. It not only reveals his genuine interest, but also reinforces your value and importance in his life. It shows that love is not about grand gestures or constant affirmation, but about trust, courage, and shared humanity. When you notice this sign, you begin to see the relationship through a lens of authenticity and depth. And in understanding this, you gain confidence, clarity, and a renewed belief that meaningful love is not a fantasy. It is available, present, and quietly unfolding in subtle but powerful ways. One of the most revealing indicators of true interest is when a man prioritizes time for you, even amidst a busy schedule. Time is one of the most valuable resources a person can give. Unlike words or gifts, it cannot be easily manufactured, borrowed, or replaced. When someone willingly dedicates hours, moments, or even small slices of their day to you, it reflects a choice, a conscious decision that signals you are significant in their life. Psychology suggests that people prioritize what they care about most. Actions speak louder than promises, and time is the clearest measure of attention and affection. Consider how often people claim to care but fail to show it consistently. Life demands attention in countless ways. Work, family, social obligations, and personal responsibilities all compete for focus. Yet, when a man consistently carves out space for you, it demonstrates that his feelings go beyond casual interest. Making time is not about convenience. It is about commitment, about showing up even when circumstances are challenging. Every effort to be present, whether brief or extended, communicates an unspoken message, some matter, and I choose to be with you. This sign becomes even more powerful when you recognize the effort behind it. Human behavior reveals that meaningful actions require planning, adjustment, and prioritization. If he rearranges his day, sacrifices personal comfort, or overcomes distractions to spend time with you, it demonstrates intentionality. It is no longer about the quantity of time, but the quality and willingness behind it. A moment shared in genuine focus can create stronger emotional bonds than hours spent distracted or disengaged. The psychology behind this is simple. Humans respond to intentionality. When someone deliberately prioritizes you, your brain recognizes it as a signal of value, care, and commitment. Notice how this manifests in everyday life. It could be making time for a conversation when he is exhausted, responding thoughtfully to a message even during a busy day, or creating opportunities to be together despite conflicting schedules. These behaviors are not random. They are conscious efforts to maintain connection and foster closeness. This is crucial because love is expressed not in words alone, but in choices and actions that demonstrate presence, care, and investment. The man who is genuinely into you understands this intuitively and acts on it consistently. The power of prioritizing time also reflects emotional maturity. Men who invest their time in relationships are often aware of the value of attention and presence. They understand that true connection requires active participation, not just passive involvement. This awareness translates into behaviors that reinforce trust, reliability, and emotional security. By dedicating time to you, he communicates stability, predictability, and dependability, qualities that are essential for long-term emotional bonding. It is important to observe the subtle nuances in how time is given. A man who is genuinely interested will not only show up physically, but will engage mentally and emotionally. He will listen attentively, respond with care, and invest in understanding your thoughts and feelings. Presence without engagement is hollow. But when combined with genuine attention, it becomes a powerful signal of authentic affection. This distinction separates casual interest from deep emotional investment. The choice to make time for you also strengthens the sense of mutual respect and reciprocity. Relationships are built on shared effort, and when he actively dedicates time, it fosters a cycle of care, consideration, and emotional reinforcement. Psychology confirms that reciprocal behaviors increase attachment and strengthen emotional bonds. When you see someone willingly investing moments in your life, it encourages appreciation, trust, and deeper connection. It also teaches you to value your own time and expect the same level of intentionality in return, reinforcing self-worth and personal boundaries. Recognizing this sign also shifts your perspective on love and relationships. Genuine interest is not measured by sporadic attention or fleeting availability. It is reflected in consistency, intentionality, and willingness to integrate you into the fabric of daily life. When a man makes time for you, it signals that he is not merely interested in surface-level attraction, but in creating meaningful experiences and shared memories. This reinforces the idea that love is not about dramatic gestures alone, it is about consistent, reliable presence. The psychology of prioritizing time also links to emotional signaling. By investing his attention, he demonstrates that your presence is rewarding and fulfilling. This fosters positive reinforcement in both partners, creating a pattern where connection grows naturally. Over time, the consistency of these actions builds trust, strengthens attachment, and deepens emotional intimacy. The man who actively manages his time to include you shows not just interest, but also a commitment to cultivating a stable and nurturing bond. Finally, noticing how he allocates time for you empowers your intuition and emotional clarity. It helps you distinguish between superficial attention and genuine care. When you observe someone rearranging priorities, creating space, and showing up fully despite life's demands, it signals authenticity. This clarity allows you to approach relationships with confidence, understanding that meaningful affection is reflected through deliberate actions rather than empty words. It reinforces the knowledge that love is a choice, and when someone consistently chooses you, it validates your worth, strengthens your confidence, and assures you that the connection is real. Time is one of the purest indicators of true interest. It cannot be fabricated, exaggerated, or faked for long. When a man genuinely cares, He will show it through his willingness to be present, engaged, and intentional. Recognizing this allows you to appreciate the depth of commitment, understand the authenticity of affection, and trust the signals that matter most in a relationship. This understanding does not just reveal his feelings, it empowers you to value yourself, demand consistency, and embrace love that is grounded in intentionality, presence, and genuine care. A man who is truly into you will not only share moments and make time, but will also actively support your personal growth. Genuine interest goes beyond attraction or companionship. It involves encouragement, motivation, and a willingness to see you evolve into the best version of yourself. When someone invests in your growth, it reflects admiration, respect, and a desire to see you thrive. Psychology shows that supporting a partner's ambitions and well-being is one of the most reliable indicators of emotional investment. It demonstrates that his feelings are rooted in more than just the present moment. They are tied to a vision of a shared future where both individuals flourish. Support can take many forms, but what matters most is intention. He might celebrate your achievements with genuine enthusiasm, offer guidance when you face challenges, or simply listen without judgment when you explore new ideas. These actions are subtle yet meaningful. They reveal that he is attuned to your aspirations and that he wants to contribute to your growth rather than hold you back. This is important because love that inhibits personal development is not healthy. When he encourages your progress, he shows that he values not just who you are now, but also who you are becoming. Psychologically, people who support their partner's growth tend to exhibit emotional maturity. They understand that a fulfilling relationship is not about control, dependency, or limiting potential. Instead, it is about partnership, collaboration, and mutual enhancement. By acknowledging your goals, dreams, and ambitions, he communicates that he sees you as a whole person with unique talents, strengths, and desires. This reinforces your self-esteem and motivates you to pursue your path with confidence, knowing that someone important in your life genuinely believes in your capabilities. One of the most telling signs of support is active involvement in your progress without overshadowing you. He does not take credit for your achievements, nor does he try to redirect your energy to suit his own agenda. Instead, he celebrates your wins, encourages your efforts, and provides reassurance when obstacles appear. This behavior is not performative. It stems from a deep sense of care and a desire to see you succeed. When someone invests in your growth, it is a reflection of long-term emotional investment. He is showing that he is not only interested in the present moment, but also in the future you are building. Supporting your growth also creates a sense of safety and stability. It signals that he respects your individuality and autonomy. Relationships thrive when both partners feel free to pursue personal ambitions without fear of judgment or resentment. When a man shows genuine support, it creates an environment where you feel empowered to take risks, follow your passions, and explore your potential. This psychological safety strengthens the bond between you, creating trust, attachment, and emotional intimacy that is far deeper than casual attraction. It is also worth noting that support can be both practical and emotional. Practical support may involve helping you solve problems, sharing resources, or offering guidance when needed. Emotional support involves listening attentively, validating your feelings, and being present when challenges arise. Both forms of support reveal that he is attentive to your needs, motivated by your well-being, and committed to helping you flourish. This combination reflects a balanced and emotionally intelligent approach to love, showing that his interest is genuine and grounded in mutual respect. A man who actively supports your growth also models a mindset of partnership. Relationships are not one-sided. They thrive when both individuals encourage and elevate each other. By prioritizing your development, he is demonstrating that he views the relationship as a shared journey rather than a series of transactions or superficial interactions. This approach fosters a sense of purpose, collaboration, and alignment, which deepens connection and creates a lasting emotional bond. Recognizing support as a sign of genuine interest also changes the way you perceive love. True affection is not only measured by excitement, gifts, or attention. It is demonstrated through meaningful actions that enhance your life. When he invests in your personal and emotional growth, it reflects a level of commitment that goes far beyond superficial attraction. It shows that he is invested in your happiness, success, and well-being, which is one of the most reliable indicators of authentic care. Moreover, supporting your growth encourages a positive feedback loop. When you feel motivated, valued, and encouraged, it strengthens your confidence and resilience. This, in turn, enhances the quality of the relationship, as both partners contribute positively to each other's lives. Psychology shows that relationships where mutual growth is encouraged are more satisfying, stable, and fulfilling. A man who demonstrates this sign is not just attracted to you, he is committed to building a connection that nourishes both of you emotionally, mentally, and even spiritually. Finally, noticing this behavior empowers you to set higher standards for love. It teaches you to recognize and appreciate actions that truly matter, rather than being swayed by empty words or fleeting gestures. When someone supports your growth, it validates your worth and reinforces the idea that love should uplift, inspire, and elevate you. Recognizing this sign allows you to approach relationships with clarity and confidence, understanding that authentic affection is expressed through consistent support, encouragement, and investment in your personal journey. Support is more than encouragement. It is a reflection of genuine care and emotional alignment. When a man invests in your growth, he communicates a deep, unwavering interest in your well-being, your ambitions, and your potential. This sign not only reveals his feelings, but also strengthens your confidence, fosters mutual respect, and creates a relationship grounded in trust, understanding, and shared purpose. When you recognize these subtle acts, you gain insight into the authenticity of his love and the depth of his commitment. True affection is expressed through actions that inspire and elevate you, and a man who supports your growth embodies this principle in the most meaningful way. When we look closely at the signs that reveal genuine interest, a pattern begins to emerge. Each of these actions, subtle yet significant, reflects a deeper truth about emotional connection, trust, and care. They are not random behaviors. They are expressions of attention, commitment, and intentionality. The first sign is the way he notices and values small gestures. When he pays attention to details that others might overlook, it demonstrates that he is truly present. Human psychology tells us that these seemingly minor actions have an immense impact because they signal awareness, thoughtfulness, and emotional presence. He remembers what makes you smile, what matters to you, and what influences your mood, showing that you occupy an important place in his mind. This type of attentiveness communicates respect and genuine affection without needing to be loudly declared. The second sign, allowing vulnerability, is equally telling. A man who opens up about his fears, past experiences, or personal struggles shows trust and courage. Vulnerability is not something given lightly. It is reserved for people who are valued and trusted. When he shares his authentic self, it is an unspoken affirmation of your significance. Psychology explains that emotional openness strengthens bonds because it creates a sense of security and mutual understanding. Witnessing someone reveal their inner thoughts fosters empathy, attachment, and deeper emotional intimacy. This act of sharing reinforces that his feelings are real and that he wants to build a connection based on honesty and trust. The third sign lies in the way he consistently makes time for you. Time is finite, and choosing to spend it with someone is a conscious decision. A man who adjusts his schedule, prioritizes your presence, and engages fully demonstrates that you are important to him. These actions reflect intentionality and a willingness to invest in the relationship. Psychology confirms that when someone allocates time thoughtfully, it creates feelings of value and attachment. It is not the amount of time alone that matters, but the dedication behind it. Presence, focus, and intentionality communicate far more than words ever could, and they reveal emotional investment that is reliable and genuine. The fourth sign, supporting your growth, shows a level of care that is rare and profound. When he encourages your ambitions, celebrates your achievements, and provides guidance without overshadowing you, he demonstrates respect, admiration, and long-term interest. Emotional investment is evident in the desire to see you thrive and become your best self. Psychology highlights that relationships flourish when partners motivate each other and create an environment of growth and positivity. By supporting your development, he is signaling that his feelings extend beyond immediate attraction. He values your potential, respects your individuality, and desires to share a journey that strengthens both of you. The fifth sign, subtle yet significant, is the combination of all these behaviors forming consistent patterns of care. Genuine interest is rarely a single act. It is a series of small, meaningful actions that, together, paint a clear picture of investment and affection. These patterns reflect deliberate attention, emotional presence, and thoughtful consideration. A man who exhibits these signs is not performing for recognition. He is demonstrating that he values you in ways that matter deeply. He shows that connection, trust, and care are at the heart of his intentions. When we examine all 5 signs together, a powerful insight emerges. Real interest is less about what is said and more about what is done. It is expressed through presence, attentiveness, support, vulnerability, and the willingness to invest time and energy. Each action reinforces the others, creating a network of signals that can be observed, felt, and trusted. Psychology confirms that humans are wired to detect patterns of behavior, and these consistent actions trigger feelings of security, attachment, and confidence. Recognizing these signs allows you to read intentions clearly, trust your intuition, and make informed decisions about your relationships. Understanding these signs also strengthens your sense of self-worth. Observing that someone is genuinely invested in you reminds you that you deserve attention, care, and respect. It reduces uncertainty, diminishes anxiety, and fosters clarity in decision-making. When a man consistently demonstrates these behaviors, it signals that he values not just your presence, but your individuality, your emotions, and your growth. This empowers you to approach relationships from a place of confidence rather than doubt, knowing that true affection is grounded in consistent, meaningful actions. Another essential insight is that love thrives on intentionality. Each of these 5 signs reflects conscious choice, actions that are not accidental but deliberate expressions of care. When a man notices your details, opens up emotionally, prioritizes your time, and supports your growth, he is actively choosing to invest in the relationship. This intentionality differentiates genuine interest from fleeting attraction or superficial charm. Human psychology shows that consistent, purposeful behavior fosters trust, attachment, and long-lasting emotional connection. Recognizing this empowers you to distinguish between surface-level attention and authentic care. The culmination of these signs creates a framework for understanding love in a deeper, more fulfilling way. It encourages you to focus on what truly matters: presence, consistency, empathy, support, and emotional honesty. When these elements are present, they build a foundation for trust, intimacy, and lasting connection. They demonstrate that affection is not just about passion or excitement, but about the steady, thoughtful, and intentional investment that underpins meaningful relationships. Ultimately, recognizing these 5 unusual signs transforms the way you perceive relationships. It shifts your attention from uncertainty, doubt, and overthinking to clarity, confidence, and awareness. You begin to notice patterns, interpret intentions accurately, and trust the signals that matter most. More importantly, it reminds you of your value and reinforces the understanding that love should elevate, respect, and support you. When these signs are present, they offer not only evidence of genuine interest, but also a roadmap for building healthy, empowering, and emotionally fulfilling connections. The beauty of these 5 signs is that they are accessible to anyone willing to pay attention. They do not require grand declarations or dramatic gestures. They exist in the way someone observes, listens, shares, prioritizes, and encourages. They are subtle, yet unmistakable to those who know how to look for them. By recognizing these behaviors, you gain insight into the authenticity of his feelings, strengthen your own emotional awareness, and cultivate the confidence to embrace love that is real, intentional, and deeply supportive. Understanding these signs is only the first step. The true power comes when you internalize them and allow them to shift your mindset. Confidence in love begins with clarity, recognizing not just what someone does, but what it says about your worth and the kind of connection you deserve. Many women spend countless hours second-guessing themselves, doubting whether they are enough, or wondering if their feelings are reciprocated. This self-doubt is natural, but it becomes unnecessary when you learn to read the language of genuine interest. Every small gesture, moment of vulnerability, deliberate act of attention, and encouragement is a mirror reflecting your value. Recognizing these patterns transforms uncertainty into confidence. Psychology teaches that humans thrive when they feel in control of their perception of reality. When you can accurately read the signs of interest, you reclaim power over your emotions. You no longer rely solely on words or fleeting attention to determine worth. Instead, you observe actions, notice consistency, and trust your intuition. This shift in mindset reduces anxiety and fosters emotional resilience. You begin to understand that love is not a guessing game. It is a series of clear choices, actions, and intentions that reveal whether someone is genuinely invested. This understanding allows you to approach relationships from a position of strength rather than vulnerability. One of the most important mindset shifts is learning to value yourself independently of others' approval. Recognizing these signs helps you understand that the right person will demonstrate care, effort, and consistency naturally. They do not need to be coerced, reminded, or persuaded. When a man is truly into you, his actions align with his feelings without needing validation. Understanding this empowers you to release the habit of overanalyzing, chasing, or tolerating uncertainty. It encourages a perspective rooted in self-respect, clarity, and patience. You learn to wait for actions that match words, rather than accepting empty promises. Another critical aspect of this mindset shift is embracing patience without settling. Emotional maturity in relationships requires allowing time for true intentions to reveal themselves. Genuine interest is often quiet, subtle, and consistent. It is not always loud or immediate. By observing the unusual signs of investment, you develop the ability to differentiate between fleeting attraction and authentic connection. This discernment allows you to make choices that honor your emotional well-being and ensures that the energy you invest in someone is reciprocated meaningfully. Understanding these behaviors also encourages emotional attunement. When you pay attention to the subtleties of gestures, attention, vulnerability, and support, you become more in tune with human connection. Your intuition sharpens, and your ability to interpret emotional signals improves. This emotional awareness is not only empowering but also protective. It reduces the risk of misreading intentions or becoming attached to those who are inconsistent, indifferent, or self-focused. It helps you cultivate relationships with people who are genuinely aligned with your values and emotional needs. This mindset shift also reinforces the importance of boundaries. Recognizing authentic interest makes it easier to define what is acceptable and what is not in a relationship. You learn to identify patterns of care and neglect, presence and absence, support and indifference. This clarity allows you to make decisions that protect your emotional energy and prevent unnecessary stress or heartache. When you understand the signs of genuine investment, you can engage in relationships from a place of strength, knowing that your emotional well-being is a priority. Moreover, internalizing these insights fosters a sense of empowerment that radiates into every area of your life. When you trust yourself to read intentions accurately, you gain confidence in your judgment, decision-making, and emotional intelligence. This confidence is magnetic. It attracts people who are capable of meeting you with the same level of awareness, care, and emotional investment. In essence, understanding and trusting these signs not only improves your current relationships, but also raises the standard of love and respect you expect in the future. Another profound aspect of this shift is learning to embrace clarity over chaos. Uncertainty in relationships creates stress, overthinking, and doubt. When you recognize authentic behaviors that demonstrate investment, you replace speculation with certainty. This clarity frees your mind and heart, allowing you to experience love without unnecessary tension or insecurity. You begin to trust not just others, but yourself, your intuition, perception, and ability to navigate human emotions with accuracy. This shift also nurtures patience with the natural pace of emotional bonding. Real connections grow gradually, built on trust, attentiveness, and shared experiences. When you notice these subtle signs, you understand that love is cumulative. It develops through consistent actions, reliability, and emotional presence. Recognizing this allows you to appreciate the depth of meaningful connections rather than seeking instant validation or dramatic displays of affection. You learn that lasting love is quiet, steady, and intentional. Finally, adopting this mindset transforms how you experience relationships emotionally. Instead of anxiety, doubt, or the need for constant reassurance, you cultivate confidence, patience, and awareness. You begin to notice the people who are genuinely invested and feel empowered to let go of those who are not. This perspective creates space for authentic, supportive, and nurturing connections. It teaches you that love is not about compromise at the cost of self-respect. It is about alignment, mutual growth, and intentional care. By internalizing these principles, you are no longer a passive observer in relationships. You become an active participant, capable of recognizing authenticity, setting boundaries, and embracing love that elevates you. You understand that genuine interest is communicated not only through words, but through consistent attention, vulnerability, time, and support. This knowledge equips you with clarity, confidence, and emotional strength, ensuring that your heart is aligned with relationships that truly honor your value and potential. When you look at these 5 unusual signs collectively, a clear picture begins to form. Each one on its own is meaningful, but together they reveal a pattern of genuine interest, care, and emotional investment. Subtle gestures, attentiveness to detail, vulnerability, making time, and supporting growth are not coincidences. They are deliberate expressions of connection. Recognizing these patterns allows you to see the truth of a relationship, and more importantly, to understand the kind of love you deserve. This understanding brings clarity, confidence, and a deep sense of emotional security that can transform how you experience intimacy. What makes these signs so powerful is that they go beyond what can be faked. Actions rooted in care and consistency are difficult to perform convincingly over time. Human behavior naturally reveals underlying intentions, and those who are genuinely interested will display patterns that align with emotional investment. Observing these patterns gives you insight into someone's heart, far more than words or promises ever could. It allows you to trust what you see, feel, and experience, rather than remaining trapped in uncertainty or doubt. This is the essence of emotional intelligence, understanding people through their actions and interpreting the signals that matter most. Recognizing these behaviors also empowers you to make decisions with confidence. Many people struggle in relationships because they are unsure whether their partner's feelings are authentic. They spend endless hours questioning intentions, overanalyzing texts, or doubting gestures. But when you learn to identify the subtle, unusual signs of true interest, those doubts dissolve. You begin to see the truth clearly. Actions reveal feelings more accurately than words ever can. This clarity frees you from anxiety, overthinking, and the fear of misjudging someone's heart. Moreover, noticing these signs reinforces your self-worth. Each action of care, attention, and support is a reflection of the value you hold in someone's life. It is a reminder that you deserve intentional love, love that invests, uplifts, and encourages growth. When someone is genuinely into you, their behavior communicates that you matter, that your happiness is important, and that they are willing to put effort into nurturing the connection. Internalizing this truth shifts your perspective, teaching you to recognize love that aligns with respect, consistency, and emotional presence. The subtlety of these signs is what makes them extraordinary. Society often emphasizes grand gestures, dramatic statements, or flashy displays of affection, yet real interest often hides in the ordinary. The quiet attentiveness, the small sacrifices, the moments of openness and care. These behaviors require more thought, effort, and emotional investment than superficial displays. They demonstrate reliability, emotional intelligence, and the desire to create a connection that is meaningful and enduring. Understanding this distinction allows you to focus on what truly matters, filtering out distractions and false signals that might otherwise cloud judgment. Paying attention to these signs also encourages emotional alignment. A man who exhibits consistent gestures of care is often aligned with his values, intentions, and emotional availability. He is present in ways that build trust, intimacy, and mutual respect. Observing this alignment strengthens your confidence in the relationship and allows you to engage more fully. Knowing that the bond is built on authenticity, it creates a sense of safety and stability, which is essential for long-term emotional connection. This recognition also has a profound effect on how you view your own expectations. When you see someone investing in you consistently, you naturally begin to expect love that matches that level of care. You no longer settle for inconsistency, empty promises, or superficial attention. Instead, you seek relationships where actions and intentions are aligned, where mutual support is offered freely, and where emotional investment is evident in every interaction. This shift in expectations raises your standard for love, ensuring that you attract and nurture connections that are fulfilling, empowering, and respectful. It is also worth noting the psychological impact of these signs on the bond itself. When someone demonstrates care through consistent actions, it strengthens attachment, trust, and emotional resonance. Positive reinforcement occurs naturally. The more you experience genuine interest, the more secure and confident you feel. This emotional feedback loop creates a stronger, healthier, and more resilient connection. Recognizing and valuing these behaviors not only validates your intuition, but also deepens the emotional intimacy between you and your partner. Finally, understanding these signs transforms how you navigate the world of relationships. It gives you the tools to read intentions accurately, to appreciate authentic gestures, and to respond with clarity and confidence. You learn to differentiate between fleeting interest and lasting investment, between superficial charm and meaningful connection. This knowledge empowers you to approach love with awareness, patience, and self-respect. It reminds you that authentic affection is demonstrated consistently, thoughtfully, and intentionally, and that you deserve nothing less. Ultimately, these signs are not just indicators of attraction, they are a reflection of a deeper truth. The love you seek exists, and it is expressed through attention, care, vulnerability, time, and support. By recognizing these behaviors, you gain insight into someone's heart while simultaneously strengthening your own confidence, intuition, and sense of self-worth. You begin to understand that meaningful love is not about chasing validation, interpreting mixed signals, or tolerating inconsistency. It is about seeing, feeling, and embracing actions that reflect genuine investment. And when you align yourself with this understanding, you open the door to relationships that uplift, respect, and empower you in ways that are profound and lasting. Learning to recognize genuine interest in someone is more than understanding signs. It is about trusting yourself. Your instincts are powerful, finely tuned mechanisms shaped by experience, observation, and emotional awareness. Too often, we ignore the subtle cues our mind and heart provide, searching for overt proof or external validation. Yet, intuition is one of the most reliable tools you have when navigating relationships. It interprets patterns, reads emotional signals, and senses authenticity in ways that logic alone cannot. When you combine observation of these unusual signs with confidence in your instincts, you gain a clarity that transforms the way you experience love. The first step in strengthening this confidence is acknowledging that your perception matters. Every time you notice consistency, vulnerability, support, or attentiveness, your mind is picking up on real emotional investment. Psychology tells us that humans naturally detect patterns in behavior. When you observe these actions repeatedly, your subconscious is signaling that they are meaningful. Trusting this process is not about jumping to conclusions. It is about valuing the information your mind and heart are already gathering. Each subtle gesture, each intentional act is an affirmation of genuine care, and recognizing it builds your emotional certainty. One of the most common challenges in relationships is the tendency to rationalize inconsistency or dismiss red flags. When your instincts tell you that someone is truly invested, there may still be moments of doubt because life is complex and humans are imperfect. This is why reinforcing confidence in your perception is critical. Observing repeated patterns over time provides evidence that your intuition can rely on. The actions of someone who is genuinely interested, attentiveness, vulnerability, making time, and support cannot be faked indefinitely. Your mind is noticing what your heart already feels, and this alignment creates a powerful foundation for trust in your own judgment. Confidence in your instincts also allows you to set boundaries without guilt or hesitation. Recognizing genuine affection equips you with the clarity to distinguish between people who uplift you and those who drain your energy. It empowers you to prioritize relationships where care, consistency, and emotional investment are present. By trusting your instincts, you no longer need to overanalyze, overcompensate, or tolerate behavior that diminishes your worth. You can engage fully with people who show authentic interest, knowing that your time, energy, and emotions are being respected. Developing this confidence also helps you embrace patience. Emotional connection grows gradually, and genuine interest often unfolds subtly over time. When your intuition aligns with consistent signs of care, you gain the patience to allow the relationship to develop naturally. You no longer feel pressured to demand proof of feelings or rush to conclusions. Instead, you can observe the unfolding pattern of actions, knowing that authenticity is revealed through sustained, deliberate behavior rather than quick gestures. Patience combined with intuition creates a calm, empowered approach to love.